And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live here at Citizen Television on the bench on the eve of the reading of the budget, the 4 trillion shilling budget. And I got a panel of guests who are just airing their views, talking the talk. It is time, no doubt, to talk the talk and walk the walk. Barack Muluka, Jugush Fanyamambo, Eric Omondi, all of them talking about what's the way forward. Jugush, what is actually the way forward? Because will our children blame us? You have children, young children.
Yeah. So I think the way forward is one, what we are doing right now. People should really talk, and there's no about, when this finance bill came out, people said it's for taxing the rich. Now, and that was also echoed by a nominated senator, which was really unfortunate. And I dare say there's a story that goes about a rat, a hen, a goat, and a cow. Where the rat, there was a trap at a home. And the rat told the three, there is a trap, a rat trap. And the chicken said, Ainihusu. The goat said the same, the cow said, Ainihusu. Until one day, the kid of the owner of the home got trapped. And now there was no one at home. He bled to death. So the rat knew there was a trap. That's why it didn't go there. So what happened is the pastor came to pray. They had to slaughter the chicken. A few minutes later, the youth came. They had to slaughter the goat. During the funeral, people were too many. They had to slaughter the cow. So everyone must talk from wherever you are. Might seem insignificant, might seem it's a small fraction of what is being, because they will always say it's only 1 shilling. When you're sending money, it's only 1 shilling that we're going to cut to be able to take care of the budget. It's okay. But when we feel, I think, things are not going right, it's good to talk. 2, I think it's really important for people, for civic education to be done, the importance of voting. Because a lot of us stay at home, and then when it's time for things are not doing right, they're like, it's my civic duty not to vote, which is true. But I think also it has made quite a difference in making the right choices.
But you'll make all the noise on Twitter.
2, and no. Yes, they'll make all the noise on Twitter. Yeah. 2, people say we didn't have a choice. I dare say we had a choice. We had a different choice because we had other people in the ballot. They didn't try them. They tried this one who said things that are not happening. I'm very interested to see what happens with Eric going forward, because I'd be interested to see if he goes for the seat, because if he's talking like that, and Eric, if you dare change, because we have a problem.
Yes.
These people, look at the young parliament, especially the young people. We go there with, we're going to do this. And then when they go there, look at every young person. Don't say the name. Think of one in your mind. And right now, what they are going to vote when it comes to the budget. Right now. Exactly. But don't say it. We have very few.
Making noise like Eric.
Exactly.
Once they fika uko, wanna change.
And we have very few. And that's why I'm saying about the Senate. When you look at the Senate, we have Okia Mtata. Okia Mtata is the very new. And you see what he's doing. We have Edwin Sifuna. And I think it's their oversight role. It's not mad by you have this kitty you're taking care of, you have CDF, you have this you're taking care of. So I think we talk, we vote, and also we hold them accountable. Because, and I'm happy Kenyans now know their rights. Kenyans can question. You remember the last election, there was a video going around about Uongo, yo Uongo. People are seeing what you're saying. You can't come to lie to us. It's either you work for us or you don't, and the next one will go. I think the 4th one is we look out how these people are voting. We are seeing them. Because again, this, they say they don't have an absolute, they have an absolute majority. But also for the minority, I think it will be nice to show the political goodwill that they want to vote out for some draconian bills. Let's say, for example, because what you see is, Atiwamekasirika, they go out. That's a tactic of not voting because they know how it's supposed to be voted. 2, I think abstaining also should do, because I don't get why you abstain. It's yes or no, according to how your people want to vote. So I think that's a way out. And also people wake up and we start talking about current affairs and not politics. Because people, I think, in Kenya are confused between the two. Sitaki kuongea juu ya siasa, sitaki kuongea juu ya siasa. However, when the taxing comes, hey, nikubaya. Right now, when you want to start a conversation with anyone, go and ask, maisha iko aje? They'll start talking. Kubaya. And that's the kind of talking we need to go with it to the ballot box. And then we remember these people are not saints. They'll come with the mudomo tamu tamu. And then when it comes to, they are not there.
They're gone. Yep. Eric,
Jeff,
are you going to change?
Jeff, I believe...
Answer Jukush's question.
I believe the...
No, yes or no?
No, I'm going to change this.
No.
if I decide to. We need new leaders. We need a new generation of leaders. We need a new Kenya. We will not have it. They say you cannot put new...
Old wine in
old wine.
bottles.
You can't. And I believe personally that the parliament of Kenya, the building itself is cursed. It needs prayers. If it was in my power...
Prayers again.
Those little man, wait, first, if it was in my power,
yes.
I'm just reiterating your point, that there are people who come and talk and fire, and they go in, and this is just a vicious circle. We must start holding leaders accountable pre and during. What did you say? That's why I'm holding the president of the nation, Alisema Mamamboga, bottom up. Yes, that's why I'm here today. And I'll give you this.
Thank you.
This is every country the president of Kenya has traveled to. How much he spent, how many people were on that delegation, which hotels they slept in, starting with Naya Butita. US. They slept in Washington, D.C. Yeah, they went to Atlanta.
Yes.
The US government did a press and said we are not paying for anything.
Correct.
When they started lying that they're being paid for, they carried governors, Waiguru, Wavinya. There were over 300 people. They slept. Do you know how much a hotel is in Washington, D.C.?
Imagine, average $500.
Yeah.
If not more.
Wait. Near 156,000 per night. For a governor to sleep in a... They don't sleep in this deluxe. A whole governor. A night. 156,000. Ajakula. There are 300. Do the math. Roughly. 300 people sleeping for 4 nights in those hotels next to the White House. Yeah? It's very expensive. Ajakula. Yeah? I don't know if we need to demolish, because the government is currently demolishing people's houses. I don't know if we can, all this money that's being wasted on State House, can we demolish that parliament building and just build it? Can we have a fresh start? It is cursed.
The two snakes behind the speaker.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's the who built that building. Jeff, we need to build a new parliament. It will psychologically even help us. We'll know it's a new start, it's a new building, it's... Unajua, he building unaona hapa, I don't know what happened to it.
Kuna kitu.
Anyway, my point is very simple. Jeff, my lawyer is called Owadi. I asked him 2 days ago to go through the Constitution and find the legalities. Is it possible for us, constitutionally, to petition a president to travel less? And after 2 days, told me very much possible. I have all the countries, 68. Samia Suluhu has only traveled to 6 countries. And I posted a video of him on Air Tanzania. He surprised even other travelers. He was in that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Akisalimia
watu abiria wakienda Turkey.
Correct.
Hata wako najua vile Kitugijia alifanya. Aya, president. So it's an actual commercial flight. 6 countries against President Ruto's 68 countries. The president needs to know, as my father here said, it is not a must. We are mourning now the vice president of Malawi. And it is unfortunate. And we pray for the country. And our condolences to them. President ataenda.
Utamwona?
Ataenda kumzika. Jeff ataenda kumzika.
Akitoka Italy.
Amesema, the president is torn between going to Egypt this week and Italy. Ataenda zote. The president will not forgo or turn down any invitation. If anyone should... Musalia Mudavadi receives a salary monthly. So does...
2 salaries.
2 salaries.
So it's prime.
CS, prime, CS?
Foreign affairs.
Foreign affairs. What is the issue with Daktari William Samoei Ruto, His Excellency? Just delegating. You see, Ababu na Mwamba, nimeitwa Italy. Represent me. Ababu will only go with 1 PA, 1 security, but bado atasign too.
Yeah.
But the president has made it a habit, as he says, to go to every invitation.
Unasema ataenda Olympics pia?
Huh?
Ataenda Olympics?
You wait and see, Jeff.
Fanya mambo.
Jeff,
the way forward.
Yes. And it begins from where he has stopped. You see, every time the president is in this country, he's doing us a favor. Because if you look at SRC and what has been provided for traveling ministers and everybody in their job group. He loses a lot of money if he stays here, because for each trip he gets a very good allowance. And it's specific to countries. I think Dubai has the highest allowance he gets, I think about more than $1 million. So every time the president is here, he's doing us a favor, because he's losing money on, but when he travels, he doesn't lose any money because it's provided for when he travels. But Kenya Kwanza, I think, way forward, if you really hate us this much and you have to punish us this badly, why don't you just chase us away out of this country? Si mutufukuze tu. You do us a favor, you wake up, kama tunasumbua sana, badala ya, wakufukuza ya kuambi toka, every time there's a new tax, mutufukuze tu. You just wake up and chase us away, because now it appears that's what is going to work for you. You've gotten to a point you feel that we are so bad and you have made our lives so horrible. Mutufukuze tu, tutaenda, because we cannot get to the point where every day you are waking up and planning something evil. Congratulations to Kenya Kwanza, because for the first time you have done something that has never been done in this country. The middle class will vote. The people of my car does not go to a polling station. My son does not go to a school called a polling station. Those ones will vote for the first time. Because this taxation has been really hard on the middle class. They have felt it, they've understood why. In fact, they will not only vote, I promise you they'll go for nominations. And because it is not my show as I finish, let me say this. I've always wanted to talk to Kenyans. My fellow Kenyans, your leader must be higher than you. He must be above you. Why are you educating your child so that your child goes and becomes a doctor or a nurse and whatever? And every time you want a house help in your house, and I see my fellow Kenyans saying, she must be Form 4 so that she can help my children do homework. But when you are looking for an MCA or an MP or a governor, birth certificate is enough. Now that's where the problem is, and this is where we draw the line. But when you want a governor, a birth certificate is enough to come and deal with your billions. But when you want a house girl to do a bakada with your children, Form 4 is a requirement. Your leader must be higher than you. Nairobi had very good people offering themselves for governor. And then we chose another governor. And you know what we are seeing. Our roads have dimples all over. You can't go to Kilimani. There are so many dimples on the roads. And I keep telling Kenyans, 2027, you must say no to inept leadership. And this thing of saying, tunataka huyu ndio ako kama sisi. Ako kama wewe, atafikiria kama wewe, and ataleta solutions inakaa kama wewe. You must get someone who is slightly more exposed than you, someone with better ideas. And this thing of saying, tunataka kusaidia uende ajisaidie miaka 5. Public offices are not welfare offices. They are not there to put people to go and help themselves. There has to be somebody who reasons better than you, somebody who comes with better ideas, somebody who is going to transform this society. And I beseech you, for the first time, let us choose a good governor in Nairobi, a good senator, good MPs, even MCAs. This thing of you, why did you take your child to school? So that they can be led by those people who didn't go to school. Because there are those now who are refusing to go to school now, saying that in future, Kenyan voters usually like the ones who have not been to school or the ones who are not capable of leading. So let us choose the best. Let us give ourselves the best. Let us give the best to this nation. The tabia ya kusema ati birth certificate is enough for a leader, but for a house help, you need someone with Form 4. It has to come to an end.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Barack Muluka, is there hope going forward?
Yes, we must continue hoping, because the loss of hope is the loss of everything. And all eyes, I think, will be on the National Assembly, members of the National Assembly. I'm aware that not very long from now, they are going to be whipped from State House. It is an aberration of the Kenya Kwanza government and the Jubilee government before it, because Mwalimu Nyerere used to tell us Ikulu ni mahali patakatifu, lakini nafikiri huo utakatifu umesha ondolewa, umetupwa nje. Sasa ni mahali ambapo kitu chochote chaweza kutendeka na kutendwa. And so they are going to be whipped soon after the budget speech, and they are going to be told that we are watching you to see how you vote. Of course, that is arm twisting. But we're also aware that the very first business that the new parliament does is that they take the oath of office. And as they take the oath of office, they always say that I am going to serve conscientiously. And I know that most of them stumble on that word conscientiously because they are perhaps coming across it for the first time.
Yes.
But the bottom line is that it's about conscience, and that conscience is on trial. Anytime, as a member of parliament, you have to vote, your conscience is on trial. And the sentiment has been very sufficiently and eloquently expressed here. Don't walk away. Don't abstain. Vote. Let it go on record. Now, older generations will be aware that we went through the one-party regime for about 38 years. We went through a one-party regime, and the party was a behemoth in parliament. But we had a few discordant voices, just about 5, 6 voices. And those voices became the conscience of the nation. Those voices became the platform, the basis, the springboard of the changes that started taking place in the late 80s, early 90s, and that culminated in the constitution that we have today. So provided that we have got some firm men and women of conscience in the legislature, it doesn't matter whether they become 6 again like they used to be, if the rest consider themselves as hostages, that those voices, the remnant few, the remnant seed, represent hope.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, let's go to the magic wall and get some feedback because it's been coming in very thick and very fast. Who do we have? Babu Michael KE says, I feel the laws on public participation should be strengthened so that those opinions can count at that decision making. They say voice of the people is the voice of God. This voice was committed, or rather omitted, in Finance Bill 2023 and may repeat itself. It's true. It was omitted. Wanja Mike M. Douglas says, our government must know that Kenya will be built through incentivizing production and finding synergy from all Kenyans by using the little tax they pay prudently, then raise taxes slowly with improved service delivery as evidence. Okay. Mwenda Insight says, it's disheartening to see the constant cycle of taxing without tangible benefits for young people. We need more accountability and a focus on creating opportunities, not just adding to our burdens. Keep pushing for change. Indeed. Maxwell Mbai says, our major concern should always be utilization of taxes. As Njugush says, we have many WhatsApp groups. That should not be the case if we revitalize the health insurance sector. I really hope SHIF works. One more. Mr. T. Manyara says, in the prevailing state of affairs in Kenya, it is even unfathomable that we could be headed for additional taxes. It is a burden to the many people who are living from hand to mouth. The government should not go against the will of the people. Wow. Gentlemen, the sentiments are very much the same out there. Everyone is hurting in their own special way. Just for a minute each as we close up. Fanyamambo, let me start with you. Final thoughts going forward. Final thoughts.
I think my final thoughts going forward is what I have always said. This government can only give you what it is. If you sit below an orange tree, you'll only get oranges. These people will continue dropping bad ideas every other day. They'll continue coming up with unbelievably horrible ideas to make your life really hard. So as you deal with finance bill and whatever other problems you have today, just know that these people are a reservoir of such ideas. And so they will continue coming up with them, and you need to be prepared. The problem really is the administration. And everything else you do will come down to this is who they are, and you have to deal with that. So Kenyans, just be prepared. Today you're dealing with finance deal. The other day you are dealing with someone volunteering to shoot the people who voted for them, and so on and so forth. And another one who chooses, and that's why they're doing funny things, who chooses to use the fence as opposed to the gate when they're coming to a function in their own constituency, having taken a lot of milk. I think it was causing lactose intolerance, and they were behaving in all sorts of interesting ways. So that's who they are. Really, that is who they are. And so do not be surprised if tomorrow they come up with another interesting idea. They've taxed bread, they'll tax anything, sleep tax. I think they're not aware that people don't pay to use the ferry. They'll probably start charging. There are so many things they are not aware. So, and I'm sorry I have told them, they didn't hear, they are asleep. This time they didn't sleep. So, but basically Kenyans, this is what you're going to contend with, that this is who they are. And the only thing that will come out of them are things that are not good for this nation. Yeah.
Jugush, final thoughts going forward?
I think Kenya is a really beautiful country. We have a lot to blame ourselves for, and especially for the generation that is coming. We've come from far, and we were in the right direction, and I still think we can get there if only everyone played their role. But also I think it's time we listen to each other, and I don't know what happens, and that's why I was asking Eric. I don't know what happens when you get into power, the trappings of power, and then you're not the same person that we used to know. So, and it's up to us to see that and get to change. And also I think there's a very important point I think my brother here made about we are not involved in the nomination. And that's where the actual voting happens, where you have nominated, because in this country we believe in political parties. Like right now there's one that is being formulated from the mountain, from wherever. So when I'm with that color on the ballot box, it doesn't care who I am. You're just going to do a three-piece. Yeah, three-piece. So I think in the nomination, we lose a lot of good leaders, a lot of really good leaders who could really change. Because if we had guys with the same mindset of changing this country for what we'd like it to be, I think there'll be the absolute and people are watching. And just to remind the guys in power, people are watching, and time itafika. And also, sisi time ikifika, let's not forget where we've come from, because we are very quick at forgetting. Ikifika hiyo time tupatiwe maleso na t-shirt, tunapiganianga t-shirt sana. I don't know what happened. So I think on both sides tujiangalie, because also us on our side, we are not really good. Utaenda Thika Road, you see someone throwing trash outside the car. We are not the best in terms of tabia. And I think also it speaks volume about our moral fabric. How are we as a people? If, for example, Eric went and stole millions, will I look the other way if he gave me some?
Dr. Barack Muluka.
I think, Jeff, at this moment, the thing to do is to address His Excellency, the President, directly. The people have spoken. We have seen the various forums. We have seen what these gentlemen are saying. We have heard. And His Excellency, the President, would do well to remember that if you are always right, and you are the only one who is always right, and that which you think because you are always right must be done no matter what, that is the beginning of autocracy. It's the beginning of dictatorship. And I think President William Ruto may want to leave behind a legacy that will see him inscribed in the better books of this country. He must start listening to other voices. He cannot go on being the only one who is right all the time. In fact, when we talk about the government, I really doubt that the things that we are seeing represent collectively processed thoughts of even the cabinet itself. you get the impression that that which we hear of as a cabinet meeting is a monologue, that dictations and edicts flow from one source, and everybody else is supposed to embrace it. And I would advise His Excellency the President to start listening to the voices and to particularly go back to government and recognize that within the government, because there's the executive and then there's the public service. Within the public service, there are technocrats, people who know that these things that are being done are wrong, but people who are afraid. They cannot speak the truth to power. If they were listened to, if they were given the opportunity, if the executive that arrives in these public offices did not arrive there with the attitude of thinking that they know everything, and they are not going to listen to the public servants, senior technocrats who have been trained, who have experience in those processes, and who would guide them, we would have a better budget, we would have practical things. But I think we are in a dispensation where everything is about edicts from the top, and which is very tragic, because during the campaign we spoke about bottom up. But once we arrived, as somebody said, we campaigned in poetry, and we are governing in prose. Changed from the top to the bottom. And finally, before you go, Jeff, His Excellency the President needs to settle down, put his jet down, go to State House, go to Harambee Avenue, and begin governing this country. He cannot be a globe-trotting latter-day Vasco da Gama.
Or is it Vasco Danganya?
Vasco Danganya.
Eric Mondi,
yes,
you get the final word.
Jeff, I believe I may have the moral authority to say what I'm about to say, because for the past 6 months, I've traveled to 23 counties. I have built a bridge in Kisii, near Baisia, a bridge that was being used by 3-year-old girls. I have taken 2 children to India. A child has died in my hands. Just yesterday, we raised 1.62 million for a kid who did an operation today. I believe I have the moral authority to speak to the president of this nation and to the government and even to Kenyans, because my ears and my feet are on the ground. I have seen, experienced, visited, and talked to Kenyans, and even helped 72 of them. And my message would be to the president of the nation, to the government of the day, and to Kenyans, and to the president of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. My message is one: Maliza uende. And I'm speaking with a lot of pain in my heart. To the government of the day, Kenya Kwanza, malizeni muende. Because they told me yesterday it will pass and they will do nothing. Maliza uende. Do whatever you do. You enda Italy. Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer the president, or the late Kibaki, or Moi. Time moves, the sun rises and sets. Maliza tu uende. We've had enough of you, and you will not change. The president is not going to change, because he lied to us in broad daylight, and he twisted the message. Said bottom up, and now he no longer mentions the word boda boda or mamamboga. He's taxing them. And to Kenyans, I will be on record, and I'm not a prophet. Nothing will ever change until we have a new Kenya and a new generation. And as Juguna says, I want to speak to young people. If they've heard Juguna. I don't know if you have children. I'm not very young. I'm 40 years old.
You're 40?
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes, and I have a small girl And I'm speaking a lot of pain because even to the young people, I have been driving a campaign called Sisi Kwa Sisi and Youth 47. And my message has been, we're going to take back our nation. The same way we had independence and the first liberation, and they say we must have a fourth. And if you are out there and you're listening to me right now, start thinking, let me poison your mind. Start thinking as a leader. If you're a young person, start plotting, start saving, start rehearsing. Because revolution must not always be on the streets. It could just be a complete takeover of the parliament. We are going to rally. I have started. Young people to replace the traitors, the Judases who are in that house. And as I told you when we started, we don't have a parliament. Do not be lied to. They speak to me and they laugh. They say I'm a comedian. And they tell me, itapita, tungoje, simebaki 6 days. We don't have we have an arm of the executive.
Conveyor belt.
Yes. Wamelipwa, now they're in bed with the government. If you're a young person, start thinking as a leader, wherever you are. Start thinking as a woman rep, so that's the only way we will save this generation. And President Ruto, Daktari, Naishima Mingis, I respect him. President Ruto will be the last of his generation. Naturally, there's nothing they can do about it.
The next one?
Huh? He is the last of the Mois, the Kenyattas, the Kalonzos, the Mudavadis, the Watangulas, the Kiba. He is the last organically. Hakuna mwingine atakuja. There must be a new president by at least 2032. Na hawezi kuchange constitution, Jeff. Na nikimalizia hii ni nini, wacha nikwambie ni nini. Kuna petition nimeambiwa na lawyer, it will be an appeal task, but we want to petition the president to travel less.
5 trips a year.
5 trips a year until the economy is back.
Na wamalize?
Waende.
Eric Omondi, Fanya Mambo, Jugush, Dr. Barack Muluka. Those are the thoughts of the day, folks. I'm sure your sentiments echo the same. We saw that on the social media. That's what it's all about, folks. What are you going to do about it? You're going to just sit back, or you're going to make a difference, like Eric says? Or you're going to be like the rat in Jugush's story, the rat, the goat, the cow. Which one are you? The chicken. Which one are you? Think about it. Thanks so much for being a part of JKLIVE. You know, if it's Wednesday, it is those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Let's keep moving. Let's keep thriving. Let's keep talking. Because the moment we stop talking is the moment fighting. And you do not want to go down that slippery slope. Good night, everybody. Good luck. God bless.